We are presenting.
Good. I'm just
And
wondering
recording.
if I can remove from the call. Do you think I removed this from the call altogether, or? Well, I don't dare. I'm gonna try that some other time. So, welcome everyone. Today I've announced that we should talk about the OpenAI integration things. Earlier in an earlier session, I showed what we have done inside the modeler itself, that we had made some OpenAI integrations for helping with modeling as such, but this is different. This is more to use it in your own applications for whatever reason you see fit. And that's the question. What reasons do you see fit? So we're going to talk about that a bit on what one can think about to use it for. So I had this idea that let's say that we're some kind of company that sells stuff, and we get email communications. We get both orders by email. At this point we don't have at least not all of our fantasy customers use the form to fill in details. They just want us to answer the emails. And maybe we also get a lot of feedback from customers. And let's say that we pour all this into some kind of system. So what would that entail then? Well, I guess we can simulate that with having a class called incoming communication, and that has a single attribute text that's of type text. Suppose that we have that, and of course now I could let's do that first, to just do the outer forms so that we have and can run this in the prototyper if we restart this server. And
that text data type, is that some kind of long string?
yes, so that's implemented either as a blob or as a text type in SQL Server.
Yeah.
So move this back a bit. So, and of course I could create some incoming communication to drive this example. But since we're gonna discuss AI and text generation, we might as well use that functionality for generating some test data as well. So if we want to get started with this, there's a merge model available that I've prepared, and you get access to that by refreshing your downloads from GitHub. And once you have done that, you will find in the MDriven mergeable folder a thing called what's it called? This one. sys OpenAI. So we have quite a few things that were called sys as a prefix. And what's up with that? Well, basically, when patterns are so important to functionality that we want to provide them support inside the deliveries that we send out, we call have started to call the patterns, we prefix them with sys. So this is like the sysasync pattern that we have talked about at some point, and also of course sysuser to handle all the authentication and login and things like that. So there's a few good packages to make it easy to use this functionality, and it has sort of built-in support. So I'm going to merge this sys OpenAI model, and having done that, I got a new diagram. It has three important classes: the sys OpenAI singleton, which has the deployment name and the endpoint and the key. So that's where we're gonna point out the instance on Azure where we have deployed the ChatGTP. And then there's only these two things besides that one. The first one is sys OpenAI chat session. So that's a session which basically just has a method called generate, and then there's messages, and the messages has a chat role and a text. So let's see how this behaves if we were to save this. Then we would need to configure this. So we go to the admin and we need to fill in these values. So let me look that up at my Azure account. So I've deployed this OpenAI resource. I guess I can do this from the start. If I go to portal Azure, I can see that there's one of these. If I don't have one, I can create a new resource and go for this Azure OpenAI. If I open that one, I can see that there's some endpoints, and I will need the endpoint to feed into my system. I will also need the key. There's two keys so that you could shift them if needed. I'm going to copy that key 2 and paste that in here. And then I also need to reference the deployment that I want to use, and to find that, because you can have multiple deployments on your Azure OpenAI Studio, and my deployment is called, yeah, it's always like this in here, trying to find where things, model deployments, probably here then, manage deployments. So my deployment is called GTP 35 Turbo. So now my system has these settings, and then I can use this UI, and that of course just is a view model defined as is. Yeah, let's see. That didn't. This one. It's just a view model that shows the details from the classes that I showed before. So I'm going to turn that off for now. And now I can create a new OpenAI message, and I'm going to. Okay. Yeah, okay. The problem was that I came here with a null. So I'm going to go to a chat session seeker. I'm going to do a new session and open that session. And I'm going to create a new message. And that message is going to have the chat role system. So the system chat role is important because that's the what sets the idea what this agent is supposed to act like. So we can test something really simple to say that you are a support technician. How do you spell that? Technician. That is really angry and unfriendly. You will answer anything in a snarky tone.
Oh, really?
So that's our instruction to it, and then we would create a new message which is the user. Hey, I think I forgot my password, and then we push this, which calls generate, and then we're going to feed these two into the engine, and it comes back and says, oh, congrats on the amnesia. Unfortunately, I'm not a mind reader. What account are you trying to access? So it seems to work. Good. Now I can save this, and of course that would mean that I had a session that I can continue with at any point. Just open it. But what we would want to do is create a new session and have it do some test data for us. So I'm going to use this session and create. So from my demo or testing yesterday, I'm gonna do a little off-screen work. Yeah, maybe I should have thought of this before.
When you wrote that, that it should be snarky and all, I thought that's not like, is that really needed to be said about the technician?
Well, the AI is completely blank, so if I just say it should be a technician, it would probably try to be nice.
Because if it learns from reality, I think
Yeah.
it would be probably pretty snarky as it is.
Could be.
Yeah,
could
but
be.
it probably learns from a larger domain than just tech support.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the texts that I've added. Okay, let's see, now this one is restarted. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm running the right one. Server setup. Restart the server. Move that off screen. Search. So this one. Okay, that one. So I'm going to create a new system message and paste this text in, which says you will generate simulated feedback emails that might be sent to a shop selling jar of strawberry jam, boomerang, crossbow products. Do some positive, some really angry, generate 10 at a time. Do not state in the text if you created it as positive or negative. Put this string of stars between each to separate them. And then that's the only instruction. And yeah, it comes back with some 10 items, and it has ended them with stars. So what we can do is to add a button here to harvest this data in a good way. And if we want to do that, we would go to this view model, and we would add a button here. Add a button that we're gonna call harvest, and gonna copy from my other thing. What that tries to do is take self.text, which is the generated text, and split it on the star, and collect those if the length is bigger than 100, just to remove the multiple stars. And if that's true, I'm gonna create a new incoming communication and set the text to the harvested text. So saving that, I get a button next to these called harvest. So I'm gonna take this text, and press harvest and save. And then I can see if I have some incoming communication. Then I have some test data that I can use, and that's good. Now I want some other type of test data, some emails creating or placing orders. So I will go back and do yet another chat session and open that one, and the system message for that one, this, and what I will instruct it to do is to create emails or content from emails, or make up simulated order emails. Meaning people placing orders by email or other means. You do not need to be structured, just do it as a normal disorganized person would. We sell these products. So let's see what kind of products we had. Yeah, we can just make something up. Sale boats, strawberry jam, and yeah, cross bows. Invent some random name of customer and include address. Let's see how it will do that. So I'm gonna make it answer that. Alright, there's an email order from Mary Stevenson. Hi there, I would like to order a sailboat, please. Good. I'm gonna make this bigger. So for some reason it made multiple even if I didn't ask it to. That's good. I'm gonna change this to make sure to separate orders by the string. We put some stars there. Do 10 at a time. Might as well say it. And I'm gonna remove this one that it did and have it do a redo.
Well, you wrote simulated orders, so
Yeah,
I suppose
yeah,
it
yes.
made multiple since you used the plural form.
Good. Let's see how. So now it put the stars between them. So yeah, let's go for these. And I'm just gonna press the harvest button for that. I'm gonna save, and that would mean that in the incoming communication seeker I have some stuff that's orders and some stuff that's feedback. Good. So now what we actually want to show with this demo is how we can make use of AI separate from generating test data. So if we have this kind of communication, we would like to classify these details. So we would like to act on all the incoming communication to see if it's classified or not. And we would also like to actually classify it. So I'm gonna just to have the things on the same diagram, I'm gonna drag in this incoming communication here. And what I want to answer is if is order. I'm gonna make that a boolean, or is feedback, and make that a boolean as well. So that's what we want to get out of this text. I'm going to add a method to this. Does that stop working? I press Control M. Called classify it. And let's see if I can have that prepared. Something like this. I'll copy that and paste that into the body and see what it does. So what this does is creates a new chat session and 2 new messages in that session, or rather they are not connected yet, but the first message is chat role system, and it says you will see incoming emails, classify the text in either order or feedback, answer with only one of 3 words: order, feedback, or uncertain. So that's the instruction to this agent that will be created for each incoming message. And then I just tie the messages to the chat session, and on the second message I say it's the user that is the chat role, and I paste the text from the incoming message. And then I call generate on this session. And once it's generated, I get some result, and I want to I want to check the result if it has the text order in it, or if it has the text feedback or uncertain. And if it has the text order, I want to, what did I call that one? Say that is order, and subsequently is feedback should be false in that case if it's an order. And if it says feedback in the response, it should be is order false and is feedback. I did it like this to be able to run it multiple times if it behaved bad. So if it's uncertain, it should be none of this. Is order false and is feedback false. And then I wanted in order to see what it actually answered, I added an attribute here on the incoming communication to actually see what it said. So a new attribute debug of type string will be fine. Right, and then I can go to out the form for this. Yeah, what I want to do here is to add a debug string and add some of the attributes. Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's going to go to live edit on this and add column the debug string and add column is feedback checkbox, add column is order checkbox. I'm going to remove this one, delete, and then I'm going to put this text last because I think that's the longest and I want to see these. I also need a button to actually call incoming or call the method classify it. So let's add a button up here and put it here and call that button classify all. And then naive gonna set, yeah, I'm gonna go here and set incoming communication, all instances of those, collecting over those, and classify it. So turning that off, and searching, and then I'm going to classify all. And it classified these as feedback and these as order. And this is what it returned. You see it's a bit, you can't really trust it. Sometimes it said feedback with small letters and sometimes it put a punctuation at the end, order with capital O, etc. But now I've classified it, so I can continue like this, and once I have the orders, I could have it analyze the content of the orders to say which of the many products that I have, and I could have those in a separate class, and I could generate the text that's input to the system prompt, and everything is programmable here, and as you can have as many agents as you want, and let them do very simple tasks, and then let your overall goal have your agents work together. State machines running this on the server side, and turning things into more and more structure and more detail. I hope you share my fascination with the ability that you could really start to create system that doesn't really need that much precision in. We sort of can create the precision as we go along, depending on what we get, what kind of results we get. Say that we run this system for a couple of weeks, and then we end up with a large batch of incoming communication that isn't either feedback or order. It ends up as uncertain. Then we can analyze those and send a third agent on those to with a separate prompt that might help us to decipher if it's something completely different, or is it feedback, or is an order. And since we this way both have the ability to do this kind of prose analysis and save structured result from that analysis, like this, if it's a clear flag, if it's an order or is a feedback, then we can take the orders further into our logic to try to find out if we have complete details. And if we don't have complete details, we could generate outgoing communication, asking in a snarky tone that we are no mind readers, we need to get full information. And
Hans, have you tried one thing that when I'm thinking about this, I'm seeing, if someone emails in a question, right, or are logged in, that means that we can make the prompt include only data that is for that user.
yes,
So the system doesn't know anything about any other user's order. So there's no like cross overlapping thing. That means that if my customer emails, and then you could basically generate a text saying, this is all the orders for this customer in the prompt.
yeah,
And then it would be able to say which order it's talking about, and then maybe look things up for that thing.
yes.
How good is the ChatGTP on like understanding information in those kind of prompts?
Well, I'll say it's really good, and of course you need to work with the prompts, but you can fill in quite a lot of information. And also, of course, if you have an ongoing discussion with a user back and forth, they send you an email every other day. Of course, you send all that, you save all that history and have ChatGTP look at the history if it's not too long, so that it has context and looks like it has a ongoing discussion with just you over email.
How long can this input be?
So that's the difference with the different deployments of the engines. So I think this the one that I'm using now, it's cheap and it's fast. So the turbo thing is because it's faster than ChatGTP 3.5, but it's cheaper than GTP 4 and it's faster than GTP 4. And I think it's up to 10,000 tokens, and a token is not really exactly a word, but pretty much a word. So we put some information up here to, yeah, these are all the classifications. So this one used 127 prompt tokens, and it complete tokens 2. So order is 2 tokens. So 10,000 tokens for this one, but I think GTP4 can have up to, if I remember correctly, 40,000 tokens. So it's getting larger and larger. So that's the main development on that side, and that means that it has more and more context on how to deduce an answer.
I mean, in an email scenario, I mean, even if it's slow, you would say, like if it's not a non-turbo one, it's probably much faster than I would be anyway.
Yes, so that's the the benchmark. Is it faster than you?
Yeah.
And can you do other things while this is going? And can you be confident that it will flag the uncertain ones or the hard ones, so that you can focus on those and do all the simple stuff? So I think it's a real benefit for productivity to isolate you from repeating mundane tasks.
It would also then be really, really cool if there was voice to text prompt thing that one could use to feed this. And I mean, that's basically included in phones and stuff today, right? So
Yeah.
you could just talk it. I think most people still might read the answer by talking the prompt, because if you're on a cell phone and you want to ask questions like, is this in stock? You could just hold in the button like you do in WhatsApp voice message, talk the prompt, and then see the answer come.
Yeah. Yes. So what I think is really the takeaway message here is that the chat engines and the large language models are really, really good on prose information, but that only takes you so far. You need to classify it and make it strict in order to actually make a good information system out of everything. But if you have this ability to both handle the prose information, turning it into strict information, and from there turning it back into prose to communicate back, that's a totally new landscape for doing things and for automating mundane stuff. And any information system with this kind of interface will have more possibilities to be forgiving.
So this, but I guess, just my, thinking here, it's probably good to have like the reply including like a robot in a bracket or an icon or something, so that people understand that if it is very snarky, it's not
by design. So
yeah, it's like like that people understand how to interpret, because if it gives a completely nonsensical answer, they should be, that's the robot talking, I better ask them, and maybe have a button.
Yeah, please, no robot.
Request a human. So that you can like override the automation thing. But of course it's really interesting to see how this could work. I'm thinking, for example, about the guy who's not here now, right? He has a car workshop, and it would be interesting to see if people could ask things about how their car is it ready or not, and what would that be in this there, and there's a lot of things you might automate very neatly.
Yeah. So of course structured information is great if you can get it, but from time to time you won't get that precise information. And of course every web shop in the world has a structured way to feed in the order, but then again, maybe there will be a voice interface just to shout into the app what you want to have, because you're in the car or something, and get that read back if it understood you correct and if you are ready to pay.
Yeah, a
Then I
fast
guess-
food restaurant would probably make use of that.
One thing here is, like, could you also, we have some time left, I mean, it would be kind of interesting also to be able to maybe give instructions to a running application. Let's say, like, you are the user of an application, and you want to say, it's like, create an order with 5 both and blah and this for a user called this and this.
Yeah.
Just type it, and then it's like it would open the order form and fill it in for you.
Yes.
Just from writing. That would be maybe useful. I mean,
So you can say give answer as a structured JSON, and then fill in a typical order form. Because if you ask it to help you structure things, then you could use normal strategies to catch this kind of information and fill in. So you can use the JSON to fill in. Yeah. What I mean is you could go like this and say that would be neat if I had these classes. Oh, you mean like this? If we are here and do, there's an option here somewhere, add attributes association classes from clipboard JSON.
Okay.
So then you could fill in, harvest all that data that way.
Is there a way for it to like follow an instruction? I think you showed that before, right? That it can like call a method basically and
so what you're gonna
back.
do with this is to instruct it to sort of express the will to call a method. So what you could do is, if I delete this one and call method X with name and street. Okay, I was too unclear. But once you get something that you will get only text back, and if you have the ability, which you have, to analyze the text back, then if it matches what you want, you then call the method that it instructs you to call, and fill in the parameters. So
and of course you could also make this like it's a multi-stage effort.
Yes.
So you would say it's like, if this, you are a customer support assistant, if this is an order, reply with the name and street as JSON, kind of, and then you get that, and then you use that to call and search, and then you can insert that user into the rest of the conversation and extract more data from. Right?
Correct. So basically text is only text, but the text can give clear instructions, and you have the ability to interpret very clear instructions. You don't have the ability to interpret this kind of wide open prose, but you have the ability to interpret very clear instructions. So you just instruct a new agent to give you very clear instructions, and once you have the very clear instructions, you execute on those. So that's the basic principle. And of course, if you want to play it really dangerously, you can ask it to generate OCL, and then you can just send it into script eval to see what happens.
Yeah. then
Well,
capitals and lowercase suddenly matter.
Yeah, it doesn't know about creation. No, that's not a good demo today. I'm gonna work on that one. Yeah. So
so if you stack these things like this, you could really make different agents that use data from the database, first look up the user, and then do this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they could leave the order just with the text that came in and the order for the user to have a quick look through and press
Yeah.
OK.
And send it back to the user for acknowledge
confirmation.
or something like that. And of course, this is what if you've used Bing, this is pretty much what it does. It first takes an arbitrary question and Googles it or Bings it, or what you say, and then it gets a lot of responses, and then it asks ChatGTP to summarize that those responses. And of course, you could do the same. You could ask your system about system internal things, enterprise internal things, even have it look up documents on your Office 365, which is another sys snippet that we can merge in. Read those documents, summarize those documents, and return the answer. So it will be a really good enterprise specific help desk, or to just use the information that you wanted to use.
Yeah, this one needs a lot of thinking now on how to put this to use.
Yeah, so what we probably could do is, and what we probably should do is a little sys pattern for Googling the web as well, because those two, then we could have it, for example, we can have it search on site wiki MDriven.net. First give it a random question and search, and then if you get a few hits back, summarize all that text to the most reasonable answer from those texts. So that's pretty much what we do in the designer in that integration, but it could be really neat to do in an internal system, and also if we have access to the meta information in the running system, so that you could ask it about what commands are available on this view. And are there any code comments describing what the commands actually do? That will be information for a chat agent to help a user to navigate a complex application. But it's more than helping the user, it's helping you as the system owner to actually produce structure of random stuff. You can have it read the logs, looking for certain errors or patterns. Good.
Yeah.
The log isn't too voluminous, I suppose, then.
Yeah, but then you could chunk it and read it multiple times, and if it hasn't found anything so you could read the snippet as much as you can and say, well, this part is fine, and then you read the next. So even if it has work cut out for it for a good 20 seconds, it's still faster than you would ever do.
Yeah.
And recorded timestamps for important events or things that stand out from ordinary, if it can compare with something that's ordinary.
Yeah, need to start playing with with hard data in this,
Yeah. So
not just make poetry.
If you haven't, everyone should just register a free Azure account and instantiate a one of these distributions because it's open access now. And then you can just grab an MDriven designer and use this pattern, and then you're on your merry way. It's fun.
Mhm.
Good. Thank you very much
Cool.
for
Thank you
listening.
very much.
See you in 2 weeks.
Hope so.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you. Bye.